You have three choices where your money goes at the end of the day. One, to the government. Most people I know don't want that. Two, to your family. Three, to charity. And today I'm going to talk about what some of the most successful retirees I've seen do with those options. Hey everyone, I'm Andrew. I'm a CFA Charterholder and a CFP professional who's spent the last several years working with ultra high net worth and high net worth individuals in their complex lives and situations. And what I'm doing is I take those thousands of iterations and I give them to you so that you can apply them to your own situation. I'm also the owner of Lever Wealth Management, which is the financial advisor for people who scare financial advisors. And today I want to talk about two things in particular: impact and stewardship. Divorced from each other, neither has the full benefit of them if they come together. And I think about one particular situation where a founder of a company had left, was still a passive owner, and I got an email from him one day out of the blue. And he said, "Is it legal for me to pay off an employee's mortgage?" What? Yeah, I want to pay off this employee's mortgage. And what they were trying to figure out, because there comes a point in retirement planning when you have a high enough net worth, everyone around the table realizes we have enough. So then you have to decide, do I want it to go to the government? Do I want it to go for legacy? Or do I want it to go to charity? Those are your options, besides spending it, right? Obviously, we're going to spend some amount, but I'm talking about the excess. And so what this person realized is, I want to have an impact with my money. So they paid off this employee's mortgage, changed their life. This employee was never going to make millions of dollars. He gave them enough cash flow, security blanket. It changed the trajectory of their life. Now, impact devoid of stewardship can ruin somebody. I've also seen this, where you have the giver wanting to be giving, wanting to be benevolent, but they're not doing it in a strategic manner. And so you have I'm using a random example here, but a 21-year-old who has no financial wherewithal get $500,000 from grandma and grandpa because grandma and grandpa want to see them enjoy it today. Well, the problem with that is maybe they weren't ready for a $500,000 responsibility. And that's where stewardship comes in. Stewardship is helping the next generation, and even if you're involved in not-for-profits, in businesses too, really, helping the next generation understand the burden of wealth. Say what you want about people with higher net worths. In my anecdotal evidence, most people I've met who have large sums of money have just ended up winning at the game of business, and they're good people. Again, my anecdotal perspective. But my point with this is, stewardship is taking those funds and understanding that the next generation needs to feel that burden. I've seen several companies where I'm going to say, next CEO is the company's son, but they don't start them out in the office, right? The manufacturing company starts them on the floor with everyone else. The plastics company starts them on the line. The shoe company starts them as a shoe salesman. I've seen it so many times. They need to feel what it's like to work. They can't just be given the benefit without the work and the responsibility attached to it. Because you do two things there. A, you have the possibility of ruining them and changing their trajectory of life for the worse. And B, you rob them of the meaning of doing it themselves. And so when you marry impact, doing good for others, right? Whether it's your own family or charity, whatever. You marry impact with stewardship, which is you putting in the work to make sure not only do you do good for others, but you make sure the next generation carries that same ethos with them. I've seen some people, I personally really like this, where whenever they give their kids money, they force their kids to give some of the money that they were given to amplify the giving and to work that muscle. Here's my encouragement. This is a bigger problem for people who have net worths, I'm going to say, depending on your spending level, $5-10 million and above. However, those truths do not cease to exist if your net worth is $1 to $3 million. You still need to be thinking strategically about this. It just may be there's not as much of a delta. But what you don't want to do is wake up, you're 92 on your deathbed and go, I did not have the impact in my life that I wanted to. I did not teach the next generation well. I did not lead that philanthropic cause the way I wanted to. Those are what will give you regret. I've seen it. It is true. But if you are strategic and you have a plan, work with your financial advisor on this. Make sure your kids are working with your or another financial advisor on this. And they don't have to know how much money you have, okay? They don't have to know. But they do need to start to feel the burden of responsibility. The next generation needs to feel the burden of responsibility. Where the question gets really hard is, what if I don't have kids, and what if I'm not particularly charitably inclined? Then you have to work that much harder than everyone else to understand what you want your money to do. That's a really, really difficult question. And I've had it with several people. It's not easily solved, but my encouragement would be understand what you value in life, understand those who you care about, and try to walk before you run. See things and see how you feel. Iterate it, A/B test it, and over time, you'll find your true north. So these are some lessons I've learned from very successful retirees. I hope you found it valuable today. Until next time, thanks everyone.